Welcome to our yard. We are going on vacation this week, so I thought it'd be fun to do a garden tour before and after we go on vacation. So let's do a garden tour. God bless you. Our peach trees are starting to produce, so we have some beautiful peaches. Unfortunately, some of our peaches are rotting on the tree. We didn't get to them fast enough. It's pretty unfortunate, but it looks like we're still going to get a pretty big harvest. For our aesthetic garden, bachelor buttons are pretty much done, but we still have a couple of blooms. Still getting a few broccoli shoots here and there. Radishes have bolted once again. My beans that I just planted look great. So do the beets. All of the peppers are doing well. My squash has petered out. My tomatoes are starting to peter out, unfortunately. I still have some cabbage to pick. My okra is doing great. I did miss a couple, so we're gonna save those for seed. Kale, still doing a great job. So are my rutabagas. I just harvested a bunch of eggplant from these plants, so that was fun. I planted my black-seeded Simpson lettuce here, and I also started some more arugula seeds, and it is very prolific. My calendula flowers are still blooming, and the Malabar spinach has taken over this trellis, which is exactly what we wanted. In our little front flower bed garden, the straw flowers are blooming, and they look so pretty. The zinnias, killing it. We have some snapdragons mixed in, and I just planted some... I can't remember what this plant is called, but it's not a coreopsis, because I know that's what I want to call it, but I know it's not that. My herb bed is so pretty. I need to do another planting of cilantro, but other than that, like the parsley's still doing great. Basil has gone to seed, but we will still harvest from it. Baby wanted to walk to the next garden. And for our tomato and squash garden, tomatoes are still producing very, very well. My squash is pretty much done. Beans are doing great. Zinnias, look how pretty those are. I did plant some of my fall garden crops. So I have my squash and cucumber and all my cabbages and kohlrabi in here under a bug net. I'm using the bug net because while I'm gone, I don't want those small plants to get eaten by the bugs. So one other thing in this garden are my Birdhouse Gourds. I'm so excited for these. I got 2. Our hardy hibiscus plants are so beautiful. This doesn't quite look like a squash garden anymore, but it is one. We have 1 pumpkin left that we haven't harvested yet. Should probably harvest that. And then we have some winter squash. Probably harvest that when we get back, maybe before we leave. And then I'm interested to see if there's any squash hiding in this mess. Like I mentioned, we did harvest our pumpkins a couple weeks ago now, so I'll insert a couple of clips of us doing that here. So that's our garden tour for before we go on vacation. We'll see you in a week. Bye! And we are back from vacation, so it's been a little over a week, but let's look at the gardens and see what they did while we were gone. Baby's hanging out and playing. She won't be joining us for the garden tour. So not a ton has changed. Broccoli is still growing, and I mean, we are still getting little tiny heads off them that I need to harvest. Beans starting to flower, so we'll be getting some beans from these guys shortly. Hot peppers I really need to harvest. My cabbages seemed like they grew a ton. And my tomatoes are petering out, so that's unfortunate, but that happens this time of year. Also are petering out. But my peppers, they like took off. I have a ton of these orange peppers that I have to harvest. Also a ton of banana peppers. And whatever these peppers are, I need to harvest them. All my crops on this end are doing well. My transplanted lettuce is doing phenomenal. And my arugula, very prolific. Oh, good job. You're putting rocks in your play toy. Good job. I'm just doing a little harvesting of the stuff that needs to be harvested as soon as possible, like the broccoli. Got a bunch of peppers. These orange peppers are amazing and so prolific. We're just walking to the next garden. We officially have a walker. That's you! So we're at the tomato and squash garden. Won't you fall down? It's okay. Here, come on. Let's get you back up. Tomatoes are definitely starting to peter out, and my mom and dad watched the house while we were gone, and they did a fantastic job of keeping up with the tomatoes while we were gone. So there's not a ton of red tomatoes here, but we might pick what's here. Over here, my fall garden is doing well under the row cover. I'm so glad that I put the row cover on, because even with the row cover, you can see that these beetles are eating the leaves through the row cover. So really glad that happened. And I did find a couple of cabbage caterpillars on my plants, but I was able to pick those off before too much damage was done. Squash is definitely petering out. Look at these beautiful zinnias. I have a watermelon I need to harvest soon. And my birdhouse gourds are still growing. And my beans, they're doing pretty well. I think starting to peter out a little bit, but we still are getting a harvest from them. We still have a ton of tomatillos on these couple of plants. We moved our birds to the pumpkin garden, because there are no more pumpkins there, and we thought we'd let them eat down all these weeds. I did find a rather large birdhouse gourd in this mess when I was moving the birds, so that's exciting, and I also harvested the amaranth. And I'll make a video of what I'm going to be doing with that amaranth in the future. Thank you for joining us today on this little garden tour. We'll see you next time. Bye!